Hello everyone. In this series, we are talking about the flowering plant, and I have already discussed in detail about the root, stem, leaves and flower of the angiospermic plant. Now from this video, I am going to start with next point, that is inflorescence. Okay, so in this video, we are going to focus on few important concepts related to the inflorescence. When we consider flower which is present in angiospermic plant, if the flower is single or it grows singly, in that case we can call that flower as a solitary flower. That means solitary flower is a type of a flower which presents singly on the branch, okay, or on the pedicel. But if flower grow in groups, okay, then such groups of a flower is called as inflorescence. And in case of inflorescence, all the flowers are arranged on a special reproductive branch or axis, and such branch or axis is called as peduncle. Okay, so stalk of the flower is pedicel, while stalk of the inflorescence is nothing but the peduncle. Sometimes students get confused in between these two concepts, that is pedicel and peduncle. Pedicel is the stalk of the flower, while peduncle is nothing but the special reproductive branch on which group of flower is present. It is called as inflorescence. So we can define inflorescence as natural cluster or group of flower present on special reproductive branch called peduncle. Okay, so inflorescence is nothing but the group of a flower which is present on peduncle. And why such group is present in the plant? Because inflorescence have number of different significance. Okay, so if we consider significance of inflorescence, this group can benefit the plant in number of different ways. The important first advantage of the inflorescence to the plant is that it make flower more conspicuous and attractive, and due to which such flower can attract more birds and insects for pollination. So pollination become easy because of the inflorescence. Okay, in inflorescence, flower are arranged in an attractive manner. Okay, so that it can help for attracting agents for pollination, which include insect and birds. So this is the first significance of inflorescence to the plant. Next important significance of this group of flower to plant is that in inflorescence, flower open consequently, okay, or sequentially. They do not open simultaneously, and due to which the flowering period of the plant get increased, and chances of pollination also get increased. Okay, so due to inflorescence, chances of pollination increase in plant. Okay, we can consider that if inflorescence is present in the plant, in that case the flower can get pollinate in single visit of the bird or insect. So this happened due to the sequential opening of the flower, which is due to inflorescence. And next important significance of the inflorescence is that many different genera which is present in the same family of the angiospermic plant can also show different type of inflorescence or arrangement of flower, and due to which this inflorescence play important role in identification and classification of flowering plant or angiospermic plant. So At the start of this video, we have now discussed about the few important introductory points related to inflorescence and three important significance of the inflorescence. Okay, if the flower produced on the plant singly, it is called as solitary flower, and if the flower are produced in a group, such group of a flower is called inflorescence. And in inflorescence, the flower are produced on a special reproductive branch or axis which is called as peduncle. And we can define inflorescence as natural cluster or group of a flower present on a branch called peduncle. Okay, and this inflorescence have various advantages to the plant. Number one is that it makes flower more conspicuous and attractive for attraction of the pollinating agent like birds and insects, as well as due to inflorescence chances of pollination increase, because in this group flowers are open sequentially, they do not open simultaneously, and due to which flowering period of the plant increase. Third and most important significance of the inflorescence is that we can use the inflorescence for identification and classification of plant, mainly angiospermic plant. So this is all about the few introductory point and significance of the inflorescence. If we consider different type of inflorescence, the arrangement of the flower can be grouped into two main type. Okay, number one is racemose inflorescence, and number two is cymose inflorescence. Okay, so these two are the important type of inflorescence present in angiospermic plants. So what is racemose inflorescence? Racemose inflorescence is also known as indefinite inflorescence. Okay, while cymose inflorescence is known as definite inflorescence. Why we call this racemose inflorescence as a indefinite inflorescence? If we draw the axis or peduncle of the racemose inflorescence, okay, suppose this is the axis of racemose inflorescence. Now, at the tip of this axis, you can find active apical bud, so that throughout the life of plant, this axis can grow continuously. Okay, that means this axis show continuous growth, and due to which it is called as indefinite type of inflorescence. This is peduncle, and peduncle show active apical bud which show indefinite growth. So it is called as indefinite inflorescence. This apical bud do not produce into flowers. So in this type of inflorescence, flowers are present everywhere on the peduncle except at the tip. But when we consider cymose inflorescence, if we draw the peduncle of cymose inflorescence, in that case, we can find that at the tip of cymose inflorescence, a flower is present. Okay, so apical bud is terminated due to the conversion into flower. So this apical bud or tip of peduncle show limited growth. So it is called as definite type of inflorescence. So this is the first important character which distinguish racemose inflorescence from cymose. In case of racemose, terminal bud is present which is active, while in case of cymose, terminal bud get converted into flower, so that the apical bud do not grow further. So it is called as definite type of inflorescence. Next important character of the racemose inflorescence is that the flowers are arranged in acropetal succession. Okay, so arrangement of the flower is acropetal. What is acropetal succession? The older flower, okay, in this type, older flowers are present is at the base. Okay, so if we draw a racemose inflorescence, we can find older and larger flower located at the base of the axis. Okay, so this is peduncle, and older flower is present at the base. Okay, and when we move from base to apex, the flower going to become smaller and younger. Okay, so this is called as acropetal succession. Old flower is at the base, which is larger flower, and young flower, which is at the apex, and it is smaller flower. So this is the another characteristic feature of racemose inflorescence. While in case of cymose inflorescence, the order of arrangement, okay, or the flower are arranged in basipetal succession. What is basipetal succession? It is completely opposite to that of the racemose inflorescence. In this case, older flower present at the apex, and when we move from top to bottom, the flower become younger and small. Okay, so this is the main axis which may produce secondary branches, and now this branch show flower which is younger and smaller than the top flower. Okay, so similar arrangement is there on the axis. Okay, so old flower is at the top, which is larger one, while the young flower is at the base, which is smaller flower. Okay, this type of arrangement is observed in cymose type of inflorescence. It is called as basipetal succession. Okay, and the last type is that, remember that in case of racemose inflorescence, the flower are attached to the peduncle either with the help of pedicel. So this is the stalk of flower which we called as pedicel. But in this case, the main axis or peduncle shows secondary branches. So this is branch. Huh? It is not peduncle or pedicel, it is branch. Okay, so main axis show secondary branches, and on the secondary branches, the flowers are developed. Okay, the next important characteristic of the racemose inflorescence is that order of opening of flower is centripetal. Okay, so flowers are arranged or open in centripetal order, while in this case flower open in centrifugal fashion. Okay, so what is the order of opening of flower? If we observe this group of flower from the top, then we can see such arrangement. Okay, now concentrate, because if we observe this group of a flower from the top, we can see this central axis. Okay, and now the young flowers, which is smaller one, then next, and last flower which is away from the peduncle is oldest one. So if we observe this group of a flower which is racemose type from the top, we can find such arrangement. Okay, and if we draw this imaginary circle, then first flower open is this, that is older and lower flower, that means this flower open first, these two flower open first, then the middle one, that is this, and finally the apex or younger flower going to get open. So that if we draw the axis or draw the arrow, in that case we can find order of opening of flower like this. First, the flower which is present on the periphery of the circle get open, then middle flower going to open, and finally younger one which is present at the apex will going to open. And if we observe the structure from the top, we can find peripheral flower open first and central flower open last. So the arrow moved towards the center of this circle, so it is called as centripetal fashion. Okay, so order of opening of the flower is centripetal in racemose inflorescence. But if we consider cymose inflorescence, okay, now focus. If suppose this is the imaginary circle, and if we are observing this structure from the top, then at the center you can see this main peduncle. Then the main peduncle have largest flower on it, followed by medium flowers, and at the end you can find these small flowers, okay, which is at the base of the peduncle. And now if we determine the order of opening, this central flower open first, okay, so this is the first flower which opened, and then the remaining flower will going to open from top to bottom. That means arrow will going to move like this from center to periphery. The order of opening of flower is away from the center, so it is called as centrifugal opening. Okay, that means in this case arrow is moving from center to periphery. So we can call that cymose type of inflorescence showing centrifugal order of opening of the flower. If we studying the racemose and cymose inflorescence, in that case we have to remember these three important points. Number one, racemose inflorescence also called as indefinite inflorescence, while cymose inflorescence is called definite inflorescence. In case of racemose inflorescence, flowers are arranged in acropetal succession, while in case of cymose inflorescence, flowers are arranged in basipetal succession. And order of opening of flower in racemose inflorescence is centripetal, while order of opening of flower in cymose inflorescence is centrifugal. So this is all about the introductory part of the inflorescence. In this video, we have discussed about the introduction, significance, and few things about racemose and cymose inflorescence. In my next video, I am going to talk about first type, that is racemose inflorescence in detail. The racemose inflorescence show 10 subtypes. We are going to talk about each subtype as well as their examples. Okay, and cymose inflorescence also show 3 subtypes. Okay, so we will going to discuss in detail about the racemose and cymose inflorescence in my upcoming video. Thank you.